So, Ollie, what is it about men's health right now that pisses you off? Like the awareness around the mental health, the emotional and the physical well-being?
I think there's two areas around it. That first off, men aren't taking their own health seriously. Some guys are, but a lot of guys aren't, where they just think, oh, I'm going to get healthy, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to go and lift some weights. They don't really look at some of the signs that they need a little bit more than that. They're not looking at things that's going on deeper inside of them with regard to their gut health. They're not seeing the signs of waking up during the night. They're not seeing how reactive they are, and they're pushing themselves. And a lot of the people I see, a lot of people we see in our network with regard to, they push their health to the side because they're pushing their business forward. And they think they haven't got time to get healthy, or they want to do these extreme things, and they don't need to do those extreme things. They need to do the foundations. Yeah. And I suppose that's the big part. They're smashing it in the gym, doing all this biohacking stuff, when actually we just need to eat a bit better, sleep a bit better, breathe a bit better, and love ourselves a bit more. And then on the other aspect, it's the whole mainstream media kind of differentiating women's health and men's health. And this is absolutely, like, we work with a lot of women, perimenopause and then postmenopause as well. And I don't want to combine menopause and andropause when we look at men's health side of things together. They are different things, but they are essentially in hormones. Yeah. And how menopause is going to be in a much shorter period. So it's definitely going to be more extreme. But why are we seeing so many guys with low testosterone and andropause being from like 25, 30, testosterone starting to lower? Yeah. And then guys getting into their 50s and 60s and they don't even know what it is. Yeah. And there's not even the support for them. Yeah. And we've got, that's like 30 or 20, 30 years where we could catch this and we could improve this. And we could work on adrenal function. We could work on these different things to improve men's testosterone levels to help them. And if we actually look at the signs, I done some research, and in the Western world, the average 40-year-old's testosterone is 13.9 nanomoles a litre. Now, the NHS will say 8 nanomoles a litre is low and 29 is high. However, men will start seeing symptoms when they get to 15 and below. So why are we waiting when they're seeing symptoms at 15, they get to 8 to say, hey, we're now going to actually look at maybe doing something. Yeah. It's worrying when we see those things, and we look at suicide rates. Male and female suicide rates are the highest they've been for 30 years. But the most at-risk population are guys in their 40s. Yeah. And that, as a guy going into his 40s, that's a scary stat to think about. It's a very scary stat.
I think it's increasing and increasing. But it's something that I think what you mentioned, I feel like men that hit the gym, men that are taking the supplements, and one would see that and go, well, they are taking their health seriously. But I think the work that you and I do, both with men and women, it's like we need to define what do men and women need to look at when it comes to health. Because, we could talk about biohacking, we could talk about supplements, we could talk about all the trendy stuff that goes on. But what I think what we're touching on the subject is the building on the foundations for hormones to naturally be at optimal levels, not just sort of surviving levels, and so on. Like, we talk about sleep, we talk about blood sugars, we talk about gut health and everything. And I don't think a lot of that message is honed in for the men's health. I think a lot of it is around testosterone. It is around, sexual health, sexual well-being, etc. So what are your thoughts around, I suppose, redefining the word serious, around taking health seriously? What would that look like for someone that is wanting to take their health seriously?
I feel it's being able to listen to your body.
Massive one.
The amount of times, and you will see it as well, where you say to people, how is your sleep? Yeah. My sleep's fine. Yeah. Do you wake up during the night? Oh yeah, I get up to go to the toilet once, maybe twice. So that's a sign you're under stress then. Yeah. Oh, but it's normal. And one of our mentors said about common and normal, and I've said it loads of times, is that just because something is common does not make it normal. And we normalize signs of stress. Yeah. We normalize needing caffeine. We normalize afternoon energy dips. We normalize waking up in the morning and like I don't jump out of bed every single day. I'm not going to, like, I don't think anyone
No,
does
neither do I.
every single day. But if you are 9 times out of 10 struggling to get out of bed,
Yeah.
then we need to look at that.
Yeah.
If you're having to have coffee to function, we need to look at that. And I was really surprised as well, speaking and putting a lot of content out on men's health on Instagram and LinkedIn. LinkedIn was the surprising one because guys would connect with me and then DM me talking about erectile dysfunction, talking about low testosterone, and talking about the pressures they felt going into the bedroom with their wives and girlfriends, and there's this pressure to perform and how they're actually, their partners thinks it's them, but they're not able to say anything, that they feel low all the time. They don't have the awareness to actually say, maybe it's me, maybe it's my testosterone, maybe my testosterone is low and I've not got enough estrogen going on in there. And it's the whole aspect of awareness, which goes for men's and women's health, right? That we need more awareness of hormones and where they should be.
Yeah.
And where we look at functional medicine and look at optimal rather than sickness.
Yeah.
And you look at the parameters that were being tested on in Western medicine, it's here's sick, high and low.
Yeah.
This is where we're going to feel good. So how do we get to those levels?
But I feel like conventional medicine, like in the UK, we have the NHS and so on. So I feel like that is quite confusing at times for a lot of people, where they get bloods back, they look at hormone testing, gut testing, whatever it is, bloods, all that sort of stuff. But the way they approach the markers is like normal, not optimal. So I think that causes a lot of confusion for both men and women to say, well, I'm actually normal. Doctor said I'm absolutely fine, so there's nothing I need to do. I'll just carry on as I am because I don't see no symptoms. But I think whereas we look at optimal markers, we want to understand any patterns or signs or symptoms, as subtle as or quiet as they may be, to have a, spot these signs earlier, so later on they don't have to deal with the aftermath of sickness, essentially.
Yeah. And if we also look at that, say someone is going towards being anemic, for example, or maybe it's like nutrient deficiency or iron deficiency, whatever type of anemia we're looking at. And maybe it's the B12 isn't absorbing, but they're taking B12 and the doctors aren't really asking that much about nutrition. So to me, someone said to me the other day, why is my B12 low? I'm taking loads of B12 and you're taking other supplements as well. Well, that tells me we really need to look at absorption and look at the gut.
Yeah.
But then the doctors were saying, you just need to take B12. Let's prescribe you with that, or prescribe you with iron, or whatever it is they take. And it's listening to what the body's trying to tell us.
Yeah.
Of like, ferritin's high. Why is it high? Why is it actually staying at this high level? And for example, when we look at cholesterol, why is cholesterol high? It's a sign, or what type of cholesterol is it high? I suppose that's another thing we could get into when we look at the testing side of that. I don't think I've ever ordered a total cholesterol only test. Yeah. There's always been a full cholesterol panel, right? Because total cholesterol doesn't really tell us anything. Yeah. We need to get everything else in there as well.
LDL, HDLs, all of those.
Exactly.
I think testing is a powerful part. It's not the one and only, but I feel like testing, even from my own journey, was really powerful, especially when I think, not to talk about gender like men and women, but we all carry masculine ways of doing things and feminine ways of doing things. And I think 15 years ago when I started my business, I was very masculine driven. I was like, I've got to make the money. I've got to provide. I've got to pay the bills. I've got to help people. But the one person that I forgot about was myself. Like I was the last on the list. And I'm sure you've been through that. And I really want to hear more about that as well. And it's just the testing when things got really, really, really bad, where I was like, I've got to do something differently. I can't just afford to just take a day off and just sleep and hope my body will recover, because it wasn't. And then I had to look at things differently. I go, oh man, I've been doing way too much, above and beyond like what my body can't even handle. So the resilience just went out the window. And this is where testing became very, very powerful, because data doesn't lie. Yeah. Not one bit. And when you look at it from a whole perspective, not just hormones, but you look at blood, you look at gut, you look at various other things, and all of a sudden things start to make sense. And you're like, the penny drops. And you're like, this is how not to do things. This is how I should be doing things.
It's easy though, like to go into that aspect of I'll provide for other people, right?
Yeah.
I always say test, don't guess.
Yes.
But
100%.
then I'm like, and this is like fully hold my hands up with this, where I would buy my wife a test, wouldn't buy myself a test straight away. Like, I'll just hold on for another month or two.
Yeah.
So is like part of that is me being a hypocrite of telling my clients to do that stuff.
Yeah.
And it's something I've improved on probably the last 2-3 years. And I'm sure we'll get into like the fertility aspect and the TRT on my own journey side of things. But now being a dad as well. And my daughter is 9.5 months old.
Yeah.
And my whole world flipped. Like, I thought I knew why I was doing what I was doing until I then held my daughter. And you think, wow, now I really do know that I lost my dad at 15. Now I know I don't want to be the guy that is ending up like his dad that's burnt out. But I now know the importance of I have to put my health first. And I said this a year ago, this exact line, and someone just literally like kicked off at me. And we've had the conversation because he's done it again recently. Is that if you can't improve your health for your child, you never will. And I will live and die by that statement.
Powerful.
And it's, yes, my health has got to come first. Because if not, I'm more reactive. Like to my, especially with autism and ADHD, then my daughter's crying. It's like, that is hard not to be reactive to. And if I'm tired, if my health isn't right, I'm reacting to it.
Yeah.
And the same, my wife is tired. She's practically raising the child, as we said. Been through giving birth, like being pregnant, her body has changed a lot. So I'll then react to her if I'm not in a good place.
Yeah.
And so many guys are doing that. And we can test, not guess, we can test to see exactly what they need. Or we can go through, and I say this as we had a conversation about growing my social media. We're talking about getting content out for social media, but there's so many influencers left, right, and center that are saying, take this supplement, take that supplement. And they're getting kickbacks and commission off side of things. And the amount of times I've had guys that they've got a pretty much endless budget.
Yeah.
The clients that are, it's really cool to work with because you can just give them like as many tests as you want and you can add the add-ons on and you haven't got to worry too much.
Yeah.
Sometimes I will say I get a little bit lazy with that because I was like, which one's going to be best? Or we'll get them both. So I get the best information there. But you go into their supplement cupboard and they're like, right, I've got these 50 supplements. Like, why?
Yeah.
And I saw this person say, take this person said, take that. And like, you got your creatine in there, your NMN, like all these other different things that they're taking. And they're literally just an advertiser's like dream.
Yeah.
They just go click, click, click. Like,
I totally agree with you. I think it's one of my bugbears actually, that I think too many people watch too many of these health gurus, influencers online. They see an ad and it's like, well, this person said that in this probiotic, for example, I'm going to get all the goodness of gut bacteria into my tummy from one capsule. And I'm like, before you go and do that, go and research them. Go and have a look at what sort of results, look, what's their methodology, what's their approach. It's so easy to just watch a very clever pseudoscience marketing sort of video and going, hey, take this and it's a bit like teaching people, well, if you do this, you're going to get this result. But we forget the whole sort of the changes that we got to make as a person to truly achieve those results, but consistently and sustainably, right? And it's not sexy work. That's why.
yeah.
I feel it is one of my bugbears, but it is a passion as well. I was like, I'm going to go and ask that person who claims X, Y, and Z on this supplement that it's going to give me X, Y, and Z. And I'm going to find out what other results have they got for other people and what's their journey been like, because I want to know what makes them the expert, the health guru, to sort of be in front of my screen and then encouraging me to click on that button and going, here's £30 of my hard-earned cash, give me the goods.
It's something actually came up when my daughter was a couple of months old.
Yeah.
And talk about when you wrap them up, swaddling? Yeah, swaddles. and there was an influencer that was saying that you shouldn't be swaddling your baby because it's bad for their neurological development and so forth, and their arms should be free and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So I just DM'd them and said, have you got the studies? Because I genuinely did want to see the studies.
Yeah.
Didn't reply. Went on the comments, my comments got deleted.
Yeah.
And it's, if you're going to say that sort of thing, if someone asks me for the studies of something that I've said, I may not put the study out there, but I'll tell them where it came from.
Yeah.
And I might have to dig deep and find it, because so many things we've heard from studies we've read years ago, we don't know the exact studies, but we know that it's legit. But it's very much, if I'm going to do that for my daughter's neurological development, I want to know what the science is behind it. And the amount of times people have told me, oh, you should try this, you should try that. I'm like, based on what science? And then you break things down logically as well, especially with that neurological development. Well, sleep is going to be better for neurological development than having her arms move about and so forth. But yeah, it's hard when we are trying to build businesses, and we are building businesses using social media, but we're also having to fight against those people as well, because it's a very unregulated industry, really.
It is.
When we look at, is someone a coach, are they a practitioner, are they a doctor, are they a consultant, whatever they are. So how do people then trust that stuff?
Yeah, but you get a celebrity behind it and it just blows up.
Yeah.
And then it's almost like a whole group of people just follow. And I think it's important for people, important message really truly is just take a pause.
Yep.
And just look at, before you go and spend your money on supplements and testing, even testing, there's some really cheap tests out there online, like £50, £100, £95.
Intolerance tests that you see.
Intolerance tests, sensitivity
ones,
test, all those sort of things. I think before you go and do that, just have a look at the quality of it. Who's behind those products, those services as well, and have they got the results for other people as well as for themselves that you want for yourself?
Yeah.
And there's no harm in being more curious when it comes to health. It's not a black and white done deal. So if I don't do this, game over. It doesn't work like that.
I usually say to people, if someone's shouting the loudest, then there's probably a reason for that.
Yeah.
Like there's a gap in knowledge or something. Like someone's got a big marketing budget, great. But when I look at the work I've done with different TRT clinics, and I've had clients that have been with different TRT clinics, and I work with guys if they're wanting to improve their health before TRT, or actually they're on TRT and not getting the results because we knew testosterone wasn't the thing, it's gut or something else that's going on. And actually one of the places that has got, I see the worst results with, is the one that's got the most influencers that are shouting the most. And we could say the names, I don't want to say the names on here, but it's all over Facebook. And their testing aspect, then they go on to his TRT, then we'll give you an aromatase inhibitor, they'll give you a drug to combat the side effects, and then another drug and another drug, and before you know it, you're spending so much more on testing and so much more on extra drugs. And they're just all over the place. Yeah.
It's like a yo-yo.
Yeah. I'll probably get targeted on the way back on the train today, like with their actual adverts, because they're always listening, right?
Yeah, always.
So it's worrying with that, but also it makes me more passionate to put out more content and be more consistent with content, be better with how I put that content across, and try and speak to more people and resonate more with people. Definitely, it's
something that I've reflected often is about the male role models in my life growing up, and I often think about my dad a lot. He passed on about 7-8 years ago, and he grew up in the 50s in India, Africa, and all those wonderful countries. But coming into the UK in the 70s, it was like he had to follow the whole provider. You've got to make sure that your family are fine, bills paid, roof over your head. We just work, save. That was what was taught to us as kids. That is success. And then obviously he had various other health issues and so on. And I remember distinctly, just from his emotional well-being point of view, where this was like a week or two before he passed on, And I think as a family, we ask the questions like, Dad, if there's anything in your heart that you want to express, like, tell us, you know, if you got any last wishes or anything like that. And he just couldn't speak, what, you know, whether he was in pain. I remember him like tears rolling down his cheek, but also laughing at the same time because he felt so uncomfortable because it was never taught to men in the 50s. Certainly, like, my dad was like one of 6, 7 brothers, like, I've lost count. And, you know, that they're all pretty much gone down the same road because that's what was taught to. You don't talk about your feelings, you just fix things, you are the man.
Yeah.
And your wife, girlfriend, your children look up to you, rely on you. So they're already going into it with just umpteen amount of pressure on their shoulders, but no kind of, I suppose, survival guide in a way to sort of go, well, if this doesn't work, then I'm going to go for this, troubleshoot this section. But it was just, I often look back at it, I was like, he must have been through so much pressure of not just looking after us, but looking after his other family as well.
Yeah.
And it was a real, I think, real juggling act that he had. But towards the end, he just wasn't able to express because he just didn't have the tools to really express what was going on in his heart.
It is hard, and like, you use the example of your dad, and
Yeah.
obviously, as
Yeah.
we've spoken about with my dad, he died when I was 15 and he was 47. And
Yeah.
it was that same aspect of, I remember him telling me, I want to retire at 55.
Yeah.
So he was always working, and he worked away from, I live in Norwich, he worked in Colchester running holiday parks and things.
Yeah.
But he was always pushing, always working. And I never saw him cry. And I was too young when my granddad, I think I was like 6 or 7 or something when my granddad died. So I was too young to, if he cried then, he probably did. But I never really saw him really stressed.
Yeah.
It was like he hid it from the kids.
Yeah.
And okay, I saw him Christmases and holidays and things, and like some weekends and stuff, but it was always, we're going to provide. And like, he'll provide the finances. It was back in the day when you didn't have a bank transfer as such, you'd just send cash in the post, even though you weren't supposed to. In fact, I'd done a reel about the last text message I got from my dad was, did you get your money? And I found that just crazy with it, where he would have the migraines, and he went to a course on the Monday and he seemed to be healthy. But I now know he had sleep issues. I also spoke to the lady who would have been my stepmom. There was an engagement ring in his bag when he was on the course. And she said, actually, on the Saturday before he went on the course, he said, this job's going to kill me. And a week later, he was dead, which is crazy. It's crazy. I get goosebumps thinking about that. Like, it was literally the Saturday, and we had to turn his life support machine off the next Saturday. And he went to Grantham, had a course, playing volleyball, had a migraine, went into hospital, had a stroke. And they said he's going to be okay. And then oxygen got stopped to his brain for like 13 minutes, and then he weren't okay. And it was crazy, absolutely crazy, that to think that you can be quote unquote healthy. But we're talking about Western medicine healthy.
Yeah.
I have no doubt if we'd have done some tests and we look deeper into his body, even just a standard blood test, and we look at, or full blood test, not a standard one, but a full blood test, we would see some things going on, and you'd see signs of stress.
Yeah.
And that has always driven me so much.
I felt the same, to be honest, because I wasn't doing gut health back in 2017, 18, when he passed on. But knowing what I know now, I look back and I was like, he definitely had gut issues. We definitely could have done some work on hormones, brain health for sure, looking at his, blood pressure, all of those sort of things. But we can, I think for ages I was a bit like, well, we could have done this, we could have done that. But I think to help my mum a lot with her health, and she's 75 now, so my approach to helping my parent was very, very different to the knowledge and the tools that I used to help myself first, and then helping others. So I was glad that I was able to do that for her. But still, part of me does feel the guilt, the guttedness of going, I wish I could have done more. But I think that is just one of those things in the line of work that we do is like, could have done more. We could have done more. And
It's
like,
driving
how
us
much
though,
more?
and it's always, as I said, it's why I've done what I've done. Is
Yeah.
that I remember I was working with a guy. I've said this before, Rick Barker. He's a friend to this day. He was Taylor Swift's manager when she launched her career.
Yeah.
And I was lucky enough to go over to his house, recorded a musician's health course, and standing there, and he's like, "You gave my wife back what she married 10 years ago." And his 15-year-old daughter, 13-year-old son were there.
Yeah.
I was like, I couldn't help my dad, but I can help other children not lose their parents.
Yeah.
And ever since then, and that was around 2017, 18, it was like, I've got to do this. I've got to do this. And even more so now, it's like, I have to do this now. With working with men, yes, I still work with women, but working with men's health, there's not enough information out there.
Yeah.
There's not enough information about what it feels like. And from people that have actually been through low testosterone, and there's not enough openness about it. Like, I'm an open book. If anyone asks me a question, they could get the honest answer.
Same, yeah.
It's just, there's no point in lying about it.
Yeah.
I'll talk about use of steroids, which made me have to use TRT, and was used because of mental health issue, and what it was then like to have no testosterone in my body, pretty much. And it's, so many guys need to hear it. And I put out a reel saying that steroids screwed up my body. I was so scared to put that out because I have trolls go, like, when you start getting people on Instagram and you start boosting posts, it's like the amount of trolls that come along. I've had people
warriors.
like, keyboard warriors, someone saying, "Oh, your hairline screaming shave me." The other one was like, "You look like you've spent 6 months in the Antarctic." I'm like, "Oh, it's called Norfolk." And it's Norfolk in wintertime.
Welcome. It's,
exactly.
It's a pretty little place.
It's
in England.
all the guys. I'm like, I'm trying to help men with their mental health, and you're an insecure man that is not got a profile picture. Well, might not be a man. You never know. But insecure person, they probably need the support. So I'm just going to put more of it out. I'm going to put more of it out so people can see the difference. And I think we need to be more open. We need to be more honest and support each other, because we're going to have people that are from our parents' generation and maybe like the 10, 20 years earlier, where they're just getting told, "You're a grumpy old man now."
Yeah.
But actually, let's look at the science, and actually there's low testosterone there.
Yeah.
And as a result, they've then got low estrogen as well. So their brain function's got a lot worse. And
Absolutely.
it's we can do things about this, not just chuck them on statins to meet a target. It's let's actually do some stuff to help with hormones.
Yeah, actually be more proactive. How much do you feel like age is a factor here? Like, especially like with hormones changing, and, you know, I feel for women, yes, I do agree with that. But both, like, from a biological point of view, both men and women's bodies are different. We know that. But, you know, when people say, "Well, it's my age now."
I think with women, we're going to see more adrenal function, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Because it's that like 10 to 30% of your adrenal of your sex hormones are produced from your adrenals, but it's closer to 10% with men.
Yeah.
So DHEA is going to make a difference and so forth with like more with women. And there's a marker that I've seen with people with women like premenopause that are close to perimenopause years, but they haven't really officially hit perimenopause yet. They've got problems with producing DHEA, and I'm like, you're going to have severe side effects.
Yeah.
And then people that have got enough DHEA and they just breeze through menopause. But with guys, I feel lifestyle makes a lot of the difference. But not just lifestyle when we look at lifestyle at 30, 40, 50, 60.
Do you mean epigenetics? That kind of...
Yeah, so you've got your genetics, but then how your lifestyle is then going to have the epigenetic effect of that impacts you, right?
Yeah.
Because we know, is it like 15% of your health is from genes, something like that? And the rest is for your lifestyle and choices. But lifestyle going through puberty. Obesity and puberty is then causing lower testosterone.
Yeah.
So guys are getting into their 20s and 30s and their testosterone is really low. And then there's higher estrogen levels and so forth. And I said, yeah, we need estrogen, but we don't want it too high. Yeah. And it's worrying to see the trends happening a lot. And I can't find any official data of when did the actual parameters of high and low change, but they've changed over the years.
Yeah.
It used to be like some labs you'll see 12 is low. I've seen an NHS say 6.4 is low, and then 8 is low. But low, what actually is clinically low in NHS markers is getting lower.
Yeah.
So make of that what you will. But I feel that, does it have to go lower? As in, like, does our testosterone have to go lower? With lifestyle interventions, we can fight it. I've seen guys in their 50s with higher testosterone than me using TRT and still in normal ranges, naturally. So I think stress perception makes a difference.
Yeah.
When we look at trauma of, I don't like saying the word, like the PTSD side of things, but people have been through trauma and PTSD.
Yeah.
I went through a lot of mental health issues myself, and like losing a parent at 15, right at that age when you're looking for this big role model.
Yeah.
With then disordered eating and so forth, and then overtraining with bodybuilding and extreme endurance stuff. So that all makes a difference.
I wanted to ask you about that. It's like, what made you want to go to the extreme side of bodybuilding? Because that is in itself a complete lifestyle change, right? Like you live, eat, breathe bodybuilding.
Yeah.
What was life like? I would say, what was your approach to health before you went into bodybuilding, and then doing bodybuilding, and then after?
So I went to music college.
Yeah.
And I used to produce hip hop and rap and DJ.
Nice.
And
care to give us a rap now?
Not right now. You can go on Spotify. There's some stuff on there. But I remember 1 month I was training for corporate job in insurance. Don't need to say the company's name, but it was like a month's training. And me and my friend actually done his bloods the other week.
Yeah.
He was a guy I used to produce for. We had takeaway every night. So much so that the guys would actually know our order. They would come in and play Pro Evo on the PlayStation.
Something in it.
Yeah. And so I was really overweight. And I remember just enough is enough with that. Started losing weight. Went to the gym with my friend. Took your Maxi Muscle supplements to start with and your Cyclone and stuff like that. And it's like, they were like, oh, don't take creatine. Creatine's so bad for you. It's just like steroids. It's like, creatine isn't.
It'll dehydrate you.
Yeah. All that stuff. And I started to get a bit of the bug. And then I said to my uncle about competing, and he was like, what do you want to do that for? And my uncle trains like runners, like he's a running coach and used to run. And my sister's a really good runner. And when my uncle said that, I was like, right, I got to do it. And then I said to my boss, do you think I can get ready for a bodybuilding show? I was working at a gym. Do you think I can get ready for a bodybuilding show in like 14 weeks? No. Like, right, I'm going to do it then. Going to prove these people wrong. And ended up doing it and got the bug. But then I went a complete other way. I dropped like 100 pounds to get on stage and competed naturally like 6 times. And then got disordered eating, was so obsessed with it, couldn't go anywhere without tracking my food. And it was not healthy at all. And then you get into that place of like, I'll be healthy when, or I'll feel better when, and you think, oh, I need some more muscle. And then all the guys around you are taking steroids. You're like, oh, you'll go down that route. So you start taking some. And I competed in one show using gear, never took high amounts, and then screwed my own body up. And it was addictive. And people that tell you that steroids aren't addictive are the ones taking them, trying to justify not coming off. Or they're like, oh yeah, like, they're not addictive. Testosterone isn't addictive, but the feeling you get when you've got higher levels, it's addictive in the recovery. And so that was what happened with that. And then as a result, trying to come off, I had signs of low testosterone before because of my lifestyle more than anything. My levels didn't want to recover. So I had to then get on TRT. And that was a journey in itself, trying to go down the routes of clinics and so forth. Yeah. And then, so we're where we are now.
Yeah. I think you said a lot of like when you became a dad for the first time, your perspective of how you look at your health and, you know, how you want to help other men with their health just completely changed. What would you say for a man that is, from his view, looks after himself, goes to the gym, does, you know, all the strength work, the bodybuilding mass, all that sort of stuff, is not a dad. They've got like a really good sort of job and business or whatever it might be. Like, what would your advice be to that particular group of men who don't have other drivers other than, you know, I just want to look good, I want to look fit, but I want to be healthy inside out?
You don't know if you're healthy inside out until you do bloods.
Yeah.
Until you do a gut test, until you actually look.
Yeah.
You're not healthy just because your aura ring says you've got a 95 readiness.
Oh God, that is another topic I want to get into actually.
Like it's crazy when you look at that, and it's stop being stubborn.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily a game. People will gamify it.
Yeah.
I like proving people wrong.
Yeah.
Hence why when people told me you'll never be able to sleep when your daughter comes, you'll never be able to train and everything, I was like, right, I've dropped like 20 pounds since February when my daughter was born. But those guys, it's got to find those motivators. Some of those guys just will be motivated by aesthetics. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to look good, right? I think every single guy in their 40s should know what having a six-pack feels like. Not because of the actual aesthetics, but because of the health that comes from it.
Yeah.
Like being able to just, not shredded, but being able to just see your abs.
Yeah.
And that's something which, there's some things which I was looking at, like, let me say, put out some content that is like, people are going to get triggered by it. So there are some things where, like, yeah, I think every guy should be able to see their abs in their 40s, be very close to it. I also think they should be able to deadlift their body weight and ideally bench press their body weight.
Yeah.
But that goes without saying. And also run a 5K without stopping. So the last one is sleep through the night without waking up.
Yeah.
Most nights.
Massively.
So, which again, it's, people say, oh, but you haven't got a kid. Like, I've got a kid. It's going to happen some nights where she wakes you up. Last night, she decided to not play ball.
Yeah.
I'm like, Honor, I'm going to London in the morning. We're recording a podcast.
Please sleep.
Yeah, sleep tonight out of all nights. Last night, you slept fine. You slept 10 hours last night. But the nights when your kids aren't waking you up, are you going to sleep?
Yeah.
And it's things where I use those also to drive myself. It's a bit of accountability for myself.
Yeah.
But what are actually triggering those guys? Because some of those guys are going to have to get unhealthy before they get healthy. Yeah. They're going to have to see, some people need a heart attack to get healthy, which sounds horrible, but it's true.
That's the sad reality of it, but it works every single time, I feel.
Provided they can come back from it, right?
Exactly, yeah. But I think a shock to the system that goes through all the layers, like mentally, emotionally, physically, for them to sort of go, yeah, I can't operate like this anymore.
Yeah, some of those guys, yeah, it depends on obviously the peer group as well. Now, one thing I had to do was break down with a guy how much he actually earned in a day. Basically, this is weird because I've had guys that tell me I'm expensive who are driving Ferraris, and then I've had guys that take out a loan to actually work with me who are getting minimum wage. Yeah. Now, I won't let someone work with me unless I 100% know that I can help them, because I think it's irresponsible to let someone take a loan out. Yeah. I know that I can push them with work-wise. They've still got to do the work. But there was a guy that was saying, oh, you're expensive. I'm like, mate, how much do you actually earn a day? And he told me his rate, and it was something like £600-700 a day. I'm like,
what
okay,
he earned.
Yeah,
right.
It's like consultant wise, and I ended up saying to him, how many days have you felt off? And he was like, quite a few. He's like, how many? Actually put it into a number. And I said, in the last month, how many days have you felt off? And he was like, about 17. Okay, how many days have you had to take off? And he was like, 2. So there in itself was 1,400 quid. But also, if we could get an extra 50% performance out of you the rest of the time, that was like however much. So you're worried about a couple of grand here, but that could earn you 20, 30 grand.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, now you look at it like that. It's like, this isn't spend the money, this is an investment.
Yeah.
And it's how we then frame it to these guys. It's an investment. And sometimes you've got to just speak in their language. Well, all the time you've got to speak in your client's language.
You've got to
right?
meet people where they're at,
Yeah.
I feel. I've always been a big believer in that, is that it's not just my way or what I think is right. It's like, listen.
Yeah.
Because you pick up on so many other clues that are non-verbal, and the way they're kind of communicating is like, okay. And I think it's a real skill that you've got to constantly practice as practitioners, as people in the health sort of industry. But I think reframing things is part of the awareness and education of why we're chatting about men's health today as well, is that to shed a light, a different perspective of looking at things. Exactly with the client there, it's like, well, spend $2,000, but this is what your potential return could look like if you follow the steps and really give it a good go and that you are committed to it. I feel like a lot of people still assume that it's quite black and white.
Yeah.
That do this, I get that. And it's like, it's not quite how that works.
And that always gets me when people are saying, oh, how much does it cost? Well, let's have the conversation first.
Yeah.
Because if I just say the price to someone, oh, it's expensive. But if we break it down, what they're actually getting, what their value is, what they value. Because some people, as we say, they will value their time from work more than anything. And some people are going to value their time with their kids. And we need to find out what that value that they have is. It's trying to find that out quickly.
Yeah. Yeah.
It changes with your demographics as well, right? I'm working more with guys now going into their 40s, and they're driven, they're pushing themselves with their health, but you're still going to get some that are early 30s and so forth.
Yeah.
But the amount of times I've heard them not take ownership. And this is one thing where like my ex done this, or my wife done this, or the boss done this, or my old business partner done me out of things. Like, okay, I have the way that I talk with people and have this method of the one method, like own it, nourish it, elevate it, and own it. It's like, okay, that's happened. Let's draw a line in the sand. Let's test to see where you're at, but that's happened. We can't change that.
Yeah.
We can only change how we go forward.
Yeah.
No matter what we've been through, we can only change our ways we move forward with it. And if your ex has screwed you over, your ex has screwed you over. It's happened. So let's move forward from that.
Yeah.
If you've had a dodgy business decision, you've had a dodgy business decision. I can't even say that fast. But
you can't outrun these emotional baggage that a lot of us can carry.
Yeah.
And then think that you'll do 100 reps of something in the gym and it's gotten
We've got to
rid of.
work on it.
If it's constantly playing, it's imprinted in your nervous system. It's going to affect your sleep, which is going to affect your hormones. It's going to affect a lot of things. It's going to affect how you show up for other people, your kids, your partner, even just for yourself.
Yeah, you're not going to out deadlift that or outrun it, are you?
Yeah.
Like the whole thing of people doing high roxes now.
Yes.
I feel fitness is becoming unhealthy to a degree. Some people's obsession with fitness, and that goes with bodybuilding. It goes with running. It goes with high roxes, CrossFit, whatever the extremity is. And we could get into ice baths, how they're a dopamine hit, and then they get addictive, and then you want to do more.
What are we really chasing here? It's
chasing the dopamine hit.
Chasing the dopamine.
Yeah.
Right? We're chasing the high,
which leads to burnout.
Yeah.
And so we go from, I've been down that route with training.
Yeah.
We go from one that is like socially negative or seen as negative addiction of drugs, porn, alcohol, whatever it is, to exercise. And actually the body is just seeing a dopamine hit.
Yeah.
And it's still having that same reaction dopamine wise.
Exactly.
But then there's the awareness of like, oh, I can push this on social media. And that goes back to that biohacking stuff.
Yeah.
Where I say there's 3 different levels of, there's this basics, which is the boring stuff of just eating half decent, drinking enough water, sleeping okay, going for some walks and getting some basic workouts in. That gets you about 75-80% of the results. Then there's the specific type of workout. You might do a certain diet or something, like a little bit of intermittent fasting in there, tighten things up a little bit. That gets you another sort of 10-15%. Then you get the 5%, which is I'm going to go carnivore, I'm going to go keto, I'm going to go full on vegan, or go and like do like infrared saunas and ice baths and all this stuff. That's the 5%, which is the sexy stuff to shout about on Facebook. But too many people are going for the 5% before doing the foundations.
Yeah.
And this doesn't end well.
It doesn't. I think I touched on the whole the trends that are sexy, gets you instantaneous results. And I think to truly, I suppose, educate people really, really well is to show everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's the good stuff, the nice results that you get, but also what did it take for that person to get there?
Yeah.
We're not just talking, well, I upped my reps by, or, I increased my weight on my squats by. That's all well and good. But, the emotional shifts that they've had, the mental, spiritual shifts that they've had, like, I don't think that's talked about enough or hardly at all. No. And I'm talking from my own journey as a woman as well. It's just like, it got me thinking, we were talking about workouts earlier, and it got me thinking because in my 20s, I started working in like gyms. That's how it all kind of started in the fitness and health and wellbeing industry. And majority of the team were men, not women. So for me, I was like really curious, like training, all of that. And I got addicted to the 300 workout from the 300 film. They had the female version. Oh no, I didn't do that. I was like, I'm going to do what the guys do. And it would take me well over a week just to recover from that. And to me, I was like, I'm healthy. If it hurts, I've done something good for my body. But that, to me now, nearly my 40s, I was like, wow, like I must have messed up my hormones then. I must have, messed with the menstrual cycle there, like all of the above, all to fit in, all to look cool. I feel like High Rocks is getting more and more popular amongst women as well as men's, and doing the team relays and couples like approach to it as well, which is amazing. But is it a dopamine chaser? Is it a dopamine fix that we feel like we constantly need?
I think people are chasing it, and I've definitely chased it.
Yeah.
And it's something where it has burnt me out in the past. I remember when I started working with pro endurance athletes, and I was doing performance nutrition with them. I was doing powerlifting, and I was working with a company called Complete Human Performance. So we done hybrid training where we would have people do powerlifting and endurance at the same time, like strength and endurance. It was crossing it over crazily. And I started working with like Tour de France, Olympics, and like extreme endurance athletes at the top of their top. Yeah. So I started training with some of them. And like one of the guys who's one of the top Ironman athletes in the UK, one of the fastest cyclists that was in Ironman. And I'd try and keep up with him. Like 6 months before, I'd never even gone out on a full bike ride, like with like cleats on and stuff. And I'd still try and keep up with him. Yeah. And I burnt out drastically, really, really burnt out. And it hit my moods a lot. Sleep was non-existent. And I feel now, the more I worked with those guys, I say there was Ironman, there was Ultraman, like 3-day triathlons and stuff, and then ultra marathons. The more I see now is that a marathon is just seen as, you're just doing a marathon. You remember years ago, a marathon used to be a ridiculously hard thing to do. Yeah. And like, I'd need training for a marathon right now. But people are doing 100, 200 mile runs.
The ultra marathons.
The ultras, yeah. And then people are doing an ultra marathon is like anything over a marathon it's seen, right? Yeah. So then people, you're only doing a 36 mile ultra marathon. Like 36 miles is a long way.
That's 24 hours.
Yeah, like, it's crazy, but people are still doing it. It's become the norm. Now, don't get me wrong. We've gone from a nightclub culture to actually the clubs are the run clubs that are popping up left, right, centre. Yeah. It's a healthier mentality, but it's still burning people out. Yeah. When recovery is one of the things. And I say this because I've been through those burnout phases. Competing in bodybuilding is like extreme, like it is an extreme sport. Yeah. The social aspect of it, the eating aspect, the training aspect. Yeah. the whole didn't get any night's sleep because you're so tired because you're not eating enough. I remember my first show, I continued dieting after I qualified for the British finals. And I started going a bit crazy,
How so?
hallucinating as such. And just my girlfriend at the time said, "You're saying some weird stuff." I say some weird stuff anyway, but
yeah, exactly.
she's like, "Yeah, I don't think you should be dieting anymore."
Yeah.
And I remember just breaking down and crying. I was like, "I don't want to do this anymore." And
Because you were just like
yeah.
all over.
And that was a drug tested show back at the time. So I was natural with it. So I would have loved to have seen my bloods then.
Yeah.
Like, where was my testosterone? Where did it go to? Try telling someone in their early 20s to get blood tests. It's crazy. But I think balance is a funny word, but we need some level of balance of, if we feel tired, don't work out, or work out lighter. Work on your recovery, work on your sleep, work on finding out exactly what's going on. Stop guessing and get some guidance for it.
Yeah. We worked with a client a year ago now, and absolutely loved running, but her menstrual cycle, her moods were so bad that it affected her marriage, right? Even to a point her husband was like, "I'm staying away from you because you're biting my head off, like it's really bad." And when we looked at her training plan, we've realised that the whole high intensity kind of workouts, the long distance running was just not doing her body any good. And we switched it up, changed it slowly but surely into more lighter workouts, more strength work.
Yep.
She was close to like mid-30s, closer to like 40s, I feel. And everything started to stabilise.
Did you start doing training around her cycle as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is fascinating. And for her, it was life-changing because it was more than just health. It was like the health of their marriage improved. They were much, much happier together. Like she was just like, I'm just a nicer person to be around. And you don't ask for it, but you also don't know what you're doing wrong.
Yeah.
And it could just be that long distance running that you did constantly over and over again, just to clear your head, clear your mind, that is actually doing more harm than good. So I don't think all exercise is equal for a lot of people. I think goes back to the curious part, is like really just feel your body.
I think,
and this comes on to the aura ring that you mentioned earlier. I was too many people, I think they have their place, gadgets.
I used to be obsessed with these things.
Yeah.
I think hardly even look at it now.
It has its place for sure, but Apple Watches and all that sort of stuff. But I think don't forget to use your own body as a communicator, because it's way more powerful than what's beeping at you left, right and centre.
It's another dopamine hit. And if you think about the dopamine stacking side of things.
Yeah.
So we're looking at the readiness and HRV and all this sort of stuff, and we're trying to get higher. I remember a client of mine, he was so obsessed. I want to break my aura rings. Like, you're not going to get above 99 readiness. Like, you're not going to do it. And if you look in the gym, you've got your tripod, you're filming yourself. There's a dopamine hit because you feel you look pumped.
Yeah.
And so people are going to see it on social media. So you get likes. There's another dopamine hit. We're listening to our favorite music. So that's another dopamine hit.
Yeah.
Some of those are going to be pump up songs. So you get a dopamine hit from them.
Yeah.
You're just trying to PB. You get another dopamine hit.
Yeah.
It's tiring. And same goes when you're training. The amount of times that I would work with runners or cyclists, and we would be on a recovery run or recovery ride, and they would say, "I felt good, so I got a PB." What? It was a recovery run. And the next week they would say, "I feel so tired." Yeah, you just didn't do your recovery run, did you? We have that in there for a reason. It's part of the actual building block to get you to where you want to be.
Yeah.
And that's the same as when you go in the gym and you feel a bit stronger. Your central nervous system has a certain amount that it can recover from. But it's going to recover better if our hormones are in a better place, if our cholesterol's in a better place, if our iron, if our nutrients are all in a better place. So if we're actually focused on recovery, let's focus on gut health and internal health first. Stop guessing with that as well. And we'll start to get much further.
I think the one... Just checking timing.
Yeah.
5 minutes, okay. I think the one activity that I've absolutely fallen in love with over time, and especially like my 30s, was hiking It's the one sport activity that taught me to just stick to my own lane. Like, forget looking at everybody else when you're training. As, oh, I've got to keep up with that person. I did a lot of that with running. If you asked me to run now or even paid me money to do it, I wouldn't bloody do it, because I did half. I did a 5K, 10K, half marathon and a full marathon. I was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
My body hated it, but I still did it just to prove to other people, not even to myself, maybe a bit to myself, but to prove that, yeah, I've done a marathon before the age of 30. Well, whoopee-doo. But I paid a huge price for it at the same time. Same thing with cycling. You feel like you've got to keep up. But mountain hiking taught me a lot about entrepreneurship, business, pace, all of that, and just stick to my own lane. Still use my whole body, but the mental and the emotional clarity that I get from hiking at my own pace, and just no matter what route I take, I'm just going to get to the top, whatever that top looks like, and then I'll make my way down. And I've absolutely loved it, and I'm just doing more and more of it. Whether it's small hikes, big hikes, mountain climbs and stuff like that. But it's the one thing that I found my, I suppose, happy place.
That's
when
good.
it comes to moving my body.
I think it is finding what you like doing.
Yeah.
And I like my training, but I got no intention of. I remember like deadlifting like 6 plates. I got no intention of doing that again.
Yeah.
Because I was also angry doing it.
Yeah.
I can't get that anger to. It's just horrible. And like you say, you've found your thing with nature.
Yeah.
Like going for a walk in nature with our dogs or whatever. Like,
yeah, I love it.
It's when we can find that thing which allows us to switch off.
Yeah.
That like it's still on, but you're recovering.
Yeah.
It's super, super powerful.
Really, really powerful. I didn't get it straight away. I remember our mentor that we worked with in the past telling me, yeah, you need to just take it easy. I said, what does that mean?
I was going to say exactly the same thing that he told me. Take a week off training. So I'm not doing that.
So what do you mean? I'm not achieving anything. And I was like, what do you mean? Like sit in a corner and just chill? I don't like at that point. I just didn't know what chill bloody meant. But when you know what that does for your nervous system, what that does for your gut, for your mental well-being, your brain health, metabolism, everything, you look at things differently. And I think that's the most important part.
I'm aware of the time, but there's the story of it took a while for me to sit down with my daughter. And when a child naps, either like 20 minutes or 2 hours or something, it doesn't seem to be like a happy medium of where it's at. I remember one Sunday, I was like, my wife's really tired. I'm going to let her sleep.
Yeah.
And I'll take my daughter, it's her nap time, give her a milk. And then I'm like, right, she's fallen asleep quickly. And if I put her in her cot now, she's going to wake up.
Yeah.
She's that type of sleep, I could tell. I was like, okay, I'll just sit in her chair, and nice comfy chair, and I'll just wait for her to wake up. It'll be a 20-minute nap probably. And it was nearly 2 hours. But I didn't have my phone in my pocket or anything. So just sitting there and being present. Wow. Like just hearing her breathing. Like if my wife's breathing heavily when she's sleeping, I want to slap her. But like when my daughter was there, like breathing with a little bit of a cold going on, it's like so cute, like a little sniffle nose. And it's present. If we can find something that allows us to actually be present, not scrolling, not like I took my phone in like camera in the gym to actually record. I felt so self-conscious doing it. Everyone's doing it, but I felt so self-conscious doing it. If we can find something to be present, not recording to show other people and so forth all the time, it will change your life.
Yeah, exactly. One thing I love seeing on my phone is when it tells me on a Sunday evening that I've used my phone 2 hours less this week.
Gamify it the other way.
Yes. I'm winning.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Awesome.